This thing is on. Hello. Hello. How are y'all doing? Okay? You're still here. This is amazing. You've been here all afternoon. Thanks for staying with us. If you've just joined us, welcome to the main stage here at Insomnia56. A huge part of Insomnia is Minecraft. It brings a lot of people here, and we bring a lot of Minecrafters over. We've had some of the biggest guys in the world on our stage over the months, over the years. One thing that's interesting about Minecraft is it's often, without even realising it, very educational. And a lot of enterprising people have realised that, and one such crew of people are our next guests, and they've worked all over the world now, and they've taken their educational idea and they've taken it from as far afield as Lithuania to India. They're in schools, they're in museums, they're in libraries, and what it's doing is it's enabling people who really enjoy Minecraft and already participate in it to keep doing it and to learn something as well. And I think that's something that should be applauded, and it's something that should continue. So please welcome on stage Gemma, Steve, Martin and Alan. Give them a huge round of applause. Now, I'm not going to pretend that I know the nitty-gritty about what it is you guys do. I'll let you guys sit yourselves down on the couch. Steve, grab a microphone. Sit down, guys, and I'll just a couple of questions, and then I'm going to leave you to it. Okay, so Steve, where did it all start? Where did it all come from?
Well, I've always been an educator. I've kind of run my own education company for 18 years now. But I'm also a gamer. So part of my education background was using technology. I'm a technology educator. I use podcasting, animation, filmmaking, anything at all that get kids thinking, oh, I could do that. And really want to do it because there's a technology they kind of, not that I believe that technology alone is the answer. Children must be able to read and write and have human contact and outdoor education. But technology really does grasp children's attention these days. So what I did was I combined the two. I thought, we'll combine it. And as a gamer, I got to a point where I thought, I must be able to use this in schools. So we started with things way back, like Age of Empires, Age of Mythology, Civilization, for the history stuff. And then we moved into Little Big Planet, The Plan, the cities, SimCities kind of games. And now we're using primarily Minecraft. That's the big one for us.
We're seeing a lot of Minecraft in education. Like Wizard Keen, his work with the Tate Gallery is, very well regarded, and the Pools of London, and introducing those works of art to a younger generation, but making them understand where it came from, and yourselves with the work you're doing. I mean, I don't want to take up too much of your time because I want you to show off what you're doing, but it must feel amazing when you get the feedback from young people saying, yeah, I learned something and it worked.
Absolutely. I mean, for me, the core of the work that I do, the purpose that I do what I do is because I want children to be able to learn and focus and kind of really come out of this at the other side with something that's genuinely useful in their life skills as well as curriculum learning. And there's just nothing quite like it when a child grasps sustainable forestry or the water cycle, or something that ordinarily we would sit in a classroom and really kind of ponder on how to get a number of, sometimes up to 30, 32 children to understand. And we do it in Minecraft in, a day, 2 days, 3 days, and they've got it. They just got it.
And you go, ha-ha! Exactly. You learned something and you had fun as well. Ha-ha!
Absolutely.
It tricks you.
Yeah. In fact, and it sounds cliche, but I cannot say this enough. Children are teaching me now using Minecraft. Children are coming to me and saying, we could do the Great Fire of London. We could do this, and these are just two ideas that have come from Insomnia, from homework that children have visited the stand have. Children that visit, that's the homework that they have, and they're saying, we could do the Spanish Armada. And here's how we could do it. And I sort of say, oh, how would you do that? And then they're telling me how it can be done. And that's what teachers want.
Yeah, and it's kind of, you mentioned Tate Worlds, and I was directly involved in that. And that was a particularly daunting project this time. It was this time last year, actually, because we didn't know whether that was going to succeed or fail. And an awful lot of hours went into projects like that. But it is true, the feedback we're getting back from parents, from kids, and seeing kids actually bringing back stuff to us and saying, hey, I know about this now, and they're explaining stuff, and Stephen's right, kids are teaching us. I was talking to a 10-year-old lad earlier today who knew 3 programming languages and was making a mod for Minecraft, and I was like, I don't know how you do that.
It's amazing, isn't it? And it's not just the code in the game as well. We were at MountainCon earlier in the year, and we saw people using jelly and tin plates and copper pipe to control the game, and guitars and all sorts. Right, I've spoken enough. I'm going to let you get on with it. Show everyone your amazing work, and then when you're ready, I'll get in the crowd and we'll do some questions, okay? But I'm going to leave you to it now.
Good stuff, thank you. So first of all, I think it's worth mentioning that I'm very lucky at Immersive Minds. Immersive Minds is actually a collective of people. So my colleagues, Martin Kemp on the computer there. I sound like a band now. We've got Martin Kemp on the drums. Martin Kemp on the computer there. We've got Alan Lewis here, who does a lot of our redstone and kind of command blocking. And then we've got Gemma Latham here, who actually is an artist to trade. And the community that we have formed over the last sort of few years in games and education is made up of not just educators, artists. We've got parents. It's unbelievable. We've got children working with us, 10-year-old children who are doing all of our complex command kind of stuff in maps, and it's a remarkable thing. So when I show you these worlds, we're just about to switch to the worlds with Martin, and as we talk you through these worlds, please bear in mind that everything you're about to see was developed with children. So this wasn't just a bunch of adults kind of sitting down and making this happen. This was all made either in a classroom environment or a library or an art gallery or some other public engagement event, usually with children. So if we can do that now.
All in vanilla Minecraft as well.
Oh yeah, and that's also significant, is that for anybody sitting here thinking, well, to do these things, you need to have these major, you need to know how to mod, and you need to know how to run Forge, and we do everything in vanilla Minecraft, so that regardless of where you're at home, whether you're just a beginner or you are a modder, you just need Minecraft, and all of our stuff is available to you. So, switching over to the world now, and we'll comment on these as we go through. This is a world. The world I'm about to show you is a kind of a portfolio, if you like, of some of the main lessons that we've done in schools. So if we just head off to the right there, Martin, past the balloon. If we look over, let's look at the volcano actually, since it's there. The volcano is Pompeii. I was asked to come into a school. The kids were studying Pompeii. Now, for the parents or teachers sitting in the crowd here today, one of the things that I think is really important is often, and I said this morning, if anybody had heard me this morning on my other piece, was, what if I can't do this? What if as a parent I have never used Minecraft? I've never been able to move in Minecraft or dig in Minecraft. And my answer to that is, you don't need to. All you need to be able to do, as I did with Pompeii, was just basically say, what is it you're trying to achieve? And the children are like, oh, we need to learn about Pompeii. And I say, well, let's study Pompeii. Let's look at the architecture, the clothing, the culture, the currency, the language that they spoke. Let's get involved. We'll do that online. We'll do that with books. We'll watch television programs. And then we'll go into Minecraft and you can build it. And this is, the volcano that we passed earlier is what we ended up with. We ended up with the city of Pompeii below. They built a volcano. They then redstoned the volcano so that it could actually erupt. And when they pulled a lever, the pistons went down, the lava poured out, and the city was destroyed. And they loved it. It was a great, great lesson. However, this one here was something that we built recently for another education project on World War I. Now, what was beautiful about this was, using games in education is quite tricky because you get the questions from teachers like, what about violence in games? I don't want children shooting each other, but I do want to study World War I. So what we did with this one was, we got the kids to develop the World War I landscape. Build the trenches, study all the stuff that went on in the trench kind of warfare. But rather than have them fight each other, we're now working with a library that can provide for us real letters, a collection of real letters that were written from soldiers to their loved ones at home and vice versa. And what the children then do is, the children then go into the trenches and they have to deliver those letters. And we're currently working on mechanics that have, the more letters they deliver, the more morale the soldiers have, and when they reach a certain point of morale, they take a trench, and then they deliver more letters, and they take a trench. And if they fail to receive those letters, or they fail to have those letters delivered, the morale goes down, and the opposing team, British or German, whichever way. And what's also really nice about that is we made sure that the kids were playing both the British and the German sides to try and explain to them that, war is about two different sides. Of course, topically, just recently, we were able to create this lovely piece, Lest We Forget, back in November, and every child who was able to come into the server placed a poppy. Simple as that. It was a really nice public engagement piece, and the children were able to learn about the significance of that day. They had their moment of silence, and then they placed a poppy. And it was a really nice way of doing that. If we head off round the corner there, Martin. And actually, speaking of the, if you head off to the right, please, pal. If I pass you on to Alan for a second, he can talk to you about building those sorts of mechanics in, like scoreboards and morale kind of gauges and things.
Okay, so when we build mechanics into maps and projects, what we're trying to do is we're trying to build something that is going to either be an activity for the kids, and it has to be something that works and something simple, or what we're trying to do is we're actually trying to make something that is easy for teachers to use as a mechanic to create an activity. So what we're looking right now, talking mechanics, is actually we're looking at a lighthouse, and I believe Stephen's used this in a project with redstone, and the lighthouse normally would use what we call a clock, which is basically a circular redstone pulse, which runs if you're not unfamiliar with redstone, runs similarly to electronics. And what Stephen's worked with kids on are projects where he gets them to either make the mechanic himself or to repair it. And it's really interesting seeing them doing that, because they often have to look it up themselves, which is an example of teaching yourself, which is really, really important. Or they sit down and figure it out, and they get there eventually.
It's problem solving.
It is indeed. In short.
Yeah. It's closer, right? Okay. Yeah, because I mean, in this particular instance, this is one of our challenges, and if anybody's interested in playing those challenges, you can come and see us today, and you can have a go yourself. Alternatively, if you want to take it home, if you've got a memory stick, I'll give you the map today. Alternatively, I'll just email them to you. But we have these things called the Immersive Isles, and on the islands we have these challenges. In this one, the lighthouse is broken. Another ship is due in 15 minutes. It's foggy and it's dark. You need to fix the lighthouse. And children go off and do it. They go off and they research how to make the lighthouse actually work so the light goes round. You guys can see the light's not moving. Something's wrong. Our children have to fix it. And what's really nice about that is they go off to YouTube. Get a lot of kids, they go off and they watch a YouTube video. Then they practice. Then they'd watch another YouTube video. Then they practice. And I had a parent say to me recently, all my child does is watch YouTube, then practice something online. Watch YouTube, practice something online. And I'm like, you're complaining about the learning process. Like that, the bottom line is you're complaining that your child is researching, then trying. I couldn't quite understand the argument. And she actually said to me, yeah, but it's not like tennis, is it? It's not like watching tennis, then practicing tennis. It's a game. I don't get that theory. If you're, as a parent, if you're sitting in the crowd today thinking, I really want my child to grasp the learning process, YouTube to Minecraft is a great way of doing it. It's as simple as that. So, Martin, if you move off to the right again, please, or behind you, actually. The hotel here that's just here, this is a mathematics exercise. We gave the kids a space within which to build, and then we gave them a spreadsheet. And every single block in Minecraft was costed £5 for mud or dirt, £6 if they wanted to put grass down, £10 if they wanted to use sand, or right up to £155 per block if they wanted to use quartz. They all got a copy of the spreadsheet, a budgeting spreadsheet, and then I said to them, now I want you to build me a hotel that has 4 rooms, a kitchen that serves a fully functioning kitchen, a restaurant that serves 17 people, a spa, a reception, a lounge, and this is what they gave us. And they go away and they come back with. I always pre-approve their plans. So I say, bring it to me on graph paper first. Draw it for me. Cost it. Write it down. And you see these kids that otherwise wouldn't be engaged in maths, and they've got their little tongues up their noses, and they're doing their maths, and then they come to me and they get it approved. Once it's approved, they can build it. And it's just a fantastic way of engaging children in mathematics. That'll do. You're heading into the sauna now. Come on. Out of this spa.
Well, time for that later.
This steam room and sauna. These were 9 and 10-year-old kids. Yeah, all right. Come on then. Let's head out. So let's head out to, if you come out and head right, and then we'll move on to another map. What to do is let's just do a flyover, and I'll kind of point out. We've got the Vikings on the in front of us here. We looked at Vikings and Viking mythology, the Rainbow Bridge of Asgard. In the distance here, we've got religious and moral education. We were invited into a school where there was a huge amount of bickering between the children, the Muslim children and the Christian children in the school. It was getting to the point where bullying, religious bullying, was becoming a real issue. We just opened dialogue. We just got the Christian children to build mosques, and we got the Muslim children to build churches and cathedrals, and then we got them to discuss what they'd built with each other. And there was questions like the Muslims said to the Christian children, "Why do you bury your dead next to where you pray? We don't do that." And the Christian children said, "Why do you need a separate place for women?" And they just discussed it. And what was really nice about that over the week that we ran that project was by the end, they weren't discussing what was different, they were discussing what was the same. We all believe in one God, we all pray, we all have this, we all do that, we all go somewhere, da-da-da-da. And it just plummeted. We got feedback from the school about a month later that the bullying had just literally dropped off the map as an issue. So, let's carry on. We've got ancient Egypt, we've got a Pictish fort off to the left here. Head off to, if you go slightly right there, Mr. Cow, you'll see the hydroelectric power system. This is our environmental. We bring children into our worlds as environmental engineers. We've got them to make the entire water cycle from mountains, tributaries, rivers. This hydroelectric power dam works depending on whether or not it has a particular pressure gauge. Minecraft understands that power can be produced using redstone. If there's not enough power, then we have to move. The village below the dam doesn't get any power. And the kids understand that. We also do wind power and so on. What I'm going to do, though, is we've got a lot to do, and we've probably 10, 15 minutes left. So if I could get you to switch maps for a second, go to OPH for me, please. In this map, there's a house in Scotland called Old Pennycook House on the Pennycook Estate. An Old Pennycook House was a 16th century Neo-Palladian house. Beautiful thing. And the Victorians... It's been in the Clark family forever. And the Victorian, when it got to kind of like 1800s, it went on fire. There was a fire started in the roof, and they knew they couldn't stop it, so they just got all the furniture out, and there's some amazing photographs of them doing that. However, the entire building was ruined, and what we did was we rebuilt the building. Now, Gemma, sitting on my right here, Gemma's responsible for areas of map building which are topographically accurate, one-to-one scale. She hates it when I say that, but it's topographically accurate. So the landscape, when we built this, we didn't just build the house. Gemma built the entire estate. Every nook, every cranny, every hill, every river, every tree was built exactly as it is if you walk your dog there. And we've since built swathes of Scotland, parts of other parts of the world. But once we'd finished the house, we designed it in such a way, it was retextured in such a way that if we set fire to it, if we went into a school and said to the kids, "Come on, let's burn the house like it did in 1899, we're left with, Mr. Cow, it literally burns until we're left with the ruin that stands today, brick by brick. If you visit there today, if any of you are up in Scotland at any point, visit Pennycook House, that is exactly what you'll see. And the kids love that, because the kids learn about who lived there, what they wore, how they spoke, all the local history and the national history that came with the Victorians. And then they get to experience an event that happened in a significant, so a kind of Victorian family home. And they love that. So any thoughts on that, Gemma? Any?
Well, the decor we recreated from the Victorian times.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
Martin, are you able to go into the back of the old house? So as well as recreating the building as it stands today and as it stood in Victorian times, we recreated one of the interior rooms, which is the only interior room that we had an image of that it existed, called the Ocean Room. And we recreated a texture pack based on those images, using wallpaper as it stood in the time, but also including we found photographs online of portraits that belong to those families. So that room is as close as we could get it in Minecraft as we imagine it would have been in those times. So the kids can actually go back in time and try and imagine in a Minecraft world what that place would have been like.
And remember, you can do this at home. Everything you're looking on that screen is in vanilla Minecraft and created with members of the public or children in schools. So you guys can do this too. And then finally, if we could just switch to the maths world, and then I think we're going to do 5 minutes of questions if you guys have any. We have 10 education worlds working in schools all around the world, so there's so much we could show you. If you do want to know more, come and see us. We're here all weekend. But this is our maths world. We've recently been commissioned to build Key Stage 2 Level 3 maths resources. Symmetry, tessellation, 2D and 3D shapes, and also grid referencing. So we built the world, the children want to get into it, the children spawn in there, and then we say, right, let's go and look at some symmetry, for example. So the children cross the symmetry bridge, and then there's ideas for how they can learn that. They can get, there's all sorts of ways in which we can do 2D and 3D symmetry down below, like creating a line of symmetry using a pane of glass. Simple as that. You build a shape, then you say to your child, where's the line of symmetry? And they use a pane of glass to create that. Then we have assessment models. So for example, the building that you see at the far side with the giant creeper in it, we've designed that to be somewhat symmetrical, but not entirely. So the children have to then go in as an assessment tool into that mansion, and then they have to explore what is and isn't symmetrical. And then they can sort of say to the teacher, that's symmetrical, that's not. There's the assessment. And then we also have an area where they can go off and build their own. So anyway, in the interest of time, we've got 5 minutes of questions left. We'll maybe be able to take 2 or 3 questions. We're going to put a mic round, and I think we'll take to the stand, actually. Should we stand? And,
yeah, guys, go for it. I mean, I'm going to field the questions from the audience. But yeah, I mean, first of all, a bit of a round of applause, because I think it's genuinely amazing stuff. And of course, anything that combines education and video games is a good thing, but I think Minecraft really blows that concept wide open. The possibilities are endless, really, I guess. It's fantastic. So, yeah, does anybody have a question for our people on stage regarding education in Minecraft? Any of the parents interested in asking a question? Because I think it's really interesting stuff. And there's
so maybe because it's a bigger crowd. This morning we had a smaller crowd and we had like 12 questions.
I think in your defence, you covered a lot.
I did.
I think people are just like, yeah, I get it. I don't need to. But at the same time, does anybody have a question at all?
That's cool. If there's no questions, we get that. And sometimes people don't want to. It's like in primary schools. When you work in primary schools, very early primary school kids will literally sit at your feet. And by sort of year 2, year 3, year 4, they're getting further away. By the time they're adults, they're sitting back there with him in the leather jacket on. Look, he doesn't want to be down the front.
Yeah.
He did that when he was 4.
I think what we always find at these kind of things too is some people maybe don't want to put their hand or whatever.
Exactly.
But you guys are going to stick around a little bit, I'm guessing, at the side there. So if anybody really wants a one-to-one conversation about anything that's been discussed, feel free to approach in that respect as well.
We're also here all weekend. We have a stand just as you came in. The first place you would have seen was us. We got 14 computers where you can play with the maps. Gemma can take you through her pattern craft stuff, which is all about teaching children coding and craft. And we've also we're here for consultancy. You guys want to talk to us? You want to ask us questions? Not just about how to build in Minecraft, but sometimes just managing your child's expectations of Minecraft, or how to get your child off of Minecraft when it's time. Stuff like that. This is the realm we work in. So do come and see us all weekend. Thank you very much.
We've got plenty of other panels as well over the weekend. So if you're here over the weekend, be sure to check the program. And I think we're mostly going to be on the other stage, which is great.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thanks a lot. That was really, genuinely, really interesting, and you're doing some fantastic work. So, excuse me, fair play to you. Can we get a round of applause, please? Thanks a lot, guys. Cheers.